Yeah. So after a nail-biting close election, we finally know that Joe Biden has been elected the next president of the United States. Now, Election Day, or polling day, is the day on which elections are held. Now, while we usually know the results by Tuesday night, you might have been asking yourself, like so many people out there, why did it take so long this year? Actually, on Wednesday, Joe Biden himself had this to say.
Yesterday, once again proved that democracy is the heartbeat of this nation. Even in the face of a pandemic, more Americans voted this election than ever before in American history. Over 150 million people cast their votes. I think that's just extraordinary. And if we had any doubts, we shouldn't have any longer about a government of, by, and for the people. It's very much alive.
So after the popularity of the recent lesson that we made with the Biden-Trump debate, we thought that we'd throw together this lesson to help you to understand the American electoral system, which will help you to understand exactly why the elections took so long this year. And of course, you'll also be learning a lot of political vocabulary that you'll find extremely practical if you've been watching the news, because it's brought up all the time. And finally, we'll learn with some clips from Joe Biden's victory speech after becoming president-elect. All right, so now let's learn all of the most difficult vocabulary and expressions from that clip. But really quickly, before we do, I want to let you know that if you're new here, every single week we make great lessons like this one to help you understand fast-speaking natives without getting lost, without missing the jokes, and without subtitles. Just like our friend Yushaf, who says that thanks to our lessons, he transformed his fluency in just a few months. And you can too. So join over 3 million learners from around the world by hitting that subscribe button and the bell down below, and you won't miss a single one of our new lessons.
Yesterday, once again proved that democracy is the heartbeat of this nation.
The United States is a democratic country, which means that every citizen in the country can vote to elect its government officials. Biden says that democracy is the heartbeat of the nation. How else might you say this?
Over 150 million people cast their votes. I think that's just extraordinary.
To cast a vote, or to cast a ballot, is another way to simply say to vote. Let's see how this phrase is used in this example, and also pay attention to the other vocabulary used. Example: the majority of eligible voters said they would rather not cast ballots, leading to the worst percentage of voter turnout since 1924. There's an interesting use of prepositions in what Biden says here.
And if we had any doubts, we shouldn't have any longer about a government of, by, and for the people. It's very much alive.
This is a fixed expression used to describe a democracy. Biden said this in a different way, but it's often government of the people, by the people, and for the people. This phrase was first made famous by US President Abraham Lincoln in 1863. A government that's of the people could mean that it is made of the people of the nation. They control it. In the end, people in the government are normal citizens. They aren't given their power, for example, through heredity. A similar idea is expressed through the preposition by the people. It is made by them through their action of voting. Finally, for the people here means that the government works and does things for the citizens of the nation. So rigged means to dishonestly arrange the results of an election or a competition. And another word we can use that means the same thing is fixed. Now, Trump thought, or at least tried to make people believe, that the votes were not counted correctly. So he thought that the whole thing was rigged. Polls are the process of voting in an election, and this is also the name of the place where we go to vote. To sue someone means to take legal action against that person. Now, you might have heard some talk that Trump wants to sue the people in charge of counting the votes in different states. So a different way that we could say this is that Trump is wanting to take these people to court. Now, this is probably the number one thing you need to understand about American elections. So the Electoral College is a unique and also very controversial method for indirectly selecting who will be the president of the United States. So in the United States, we don't actually vote directly for the president. The Electoral College are educated individuals who vote in your place. and each state has a designated number of electoral votes based on the population of that state. So whoever wins the popular vote in a certain state, the Electoral College should vote for that individual. Now this is controversial because it means that you don't actually need to win the popular vote in the United States in order to be elected president. And that also makes certain states that often go one way or another way really crucial in order to win. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Now, if you followed the 2016 elections, then you might remember that Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but she actually lost in the Electoral College, which means that although the majority of US citizens voted for her, she did not become the president of the United States. Now, if you followed the elections, you might have seen the number 270. You need 270 votes to win. Now, this is because there are 538 Electoral College seats. Now, 270 would be the majority of that, so if you get that majority or more, then you win. Biden won both the popular vote and the Electoral College vote in these elections. Now, the pandemic also played a huge role in this year's elections. Let's hear what Biden had to say about that.
Even in the face of a pandemic, more Americans voted this election than ever before in American history.
COVID-19 has played a major role in how this election played out. For one thing, a lot of people decided to avoid the traditional in-person voting and instead opted for mail-in ballots or by-mail vote, which, in simple words, is a system for voting in which a person delivers their vote via the postal service. A ballot is the form which you fill out to give your vote. Another way in which the pandemic has affected this election is that vote counting had to be conducted at a slower pace because people had to follow different security protocols, depending on the state.
The president is complaining on Twitter. They are finding Biden votes all over the place in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. So bad for our country. To be clear, they are not finding ballots, but counting ones that come in on time according to state laws. And there is a question about whether the Postal Service, run by a Trump loyalist, interfered in getting ballots delivered on time, defying a federal judge's order Tuesday to do a sweep for ballots. They refused, potentially leaving hundreds of thousands not counted. The one thing this election has clearly shown, America is a nation divided.
Another big part of the drama surrounding this year's elections is that President Donald Trump has made clear that he wouldn't consider a victory for Joe Biden legitimate.
Good evening. I'd like to provide the American people with an update on our efforts to protect the integrity of our very important 2020 election. If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us. If you count the votes that came in late, we're looking at them very strongly, but a lot of votes came in late.
So Trump claims that these votes are illegal because they weren't counted on election day. However, as we've seen before, there is a margin for mail-in votes to arrive and be legitimately counted. The difference in this election is that due to coronavirus, there were many more mail-in votes than in past elections, and that in-person votes on election day weren't enough to clearly determine the winner. Now, many consider what Trump is saying to be baseless claims and raise the question of what would happen if he doesn't want to concede. Jimmy Kimmel has an interesting and humorous take on this.
The question now is, will Donald Trump concede? You'd think he would concede. He's the most conceded president we've ever had, but
to concede means to admit that something is true or correct, although you wish it were not true. He uses some wordplay here as he says Trump is a conceited person. This is another word for someone who is vain, arrogant, or big-headed, meaning that they think that they are very clever, skillful, beautiful, etc. By the way, we consider this wordplay because in American English, these two words sound very similar. This is because of the American T here. It's between two vowels, so we'd say it like a D. Conceited, conceited. By the way, do you want to be able to understand the English that natives use in real life? Then I highly recommend you join our free 3-part masterclass. Now, in this masterclass, you will learn the 3 principles that you need to master in order to be able to understand natives no matter how fast we speak. And those are vocabulary and cultural context, which you're learning a lot about in this lesson, and third, pronunciation. So you can join for free by clicking up here or down in the description below.
Folks, the people of this nation have spoken. They've delivered us a clear victory, a convincing victory, a victory for we the people.
Joe describes his victory over Donald Trump as a clear victory, and then, even in a more reassuring tone, as a convincing victory. It indeed ended up being that. Over on our Instagram, we've gone over other words you can use to describe a victory. Head over to @reallife.english and don't miss out.
We've won with the most votes ever cast on a presidential ticket in the history of the nation. 74 million. What I must admit has surprised me. Tonight, we're seeing all over this nation, all cities and all parts of the country, indeed across the world, an outpouring of joy, of hope, renewed faith in tomorrow. Bring a better day.
When we describe something as an outpouring of joy, hope, or another feeling, we're saying that those feelings are flowing very strong.
So tomorrow morning I'll pick you up and we'll go to the pharmacy.
Gee, I'm touched by your outpouring of compassion.
I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify. Who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States.
A pledge is a serious promise or agreement, especially one made publicly or officially. Joe Biden uses this word as a verb. Example, the new governor pledged to reduce crime. Now Biden says he doesn't see blue states or red states, he just sees the United States. This is a nice play on word here, but let's take a look at what this actually means. So blue states and red states refer to states that are more Democratic or more Republican. So blue states are the ones that are more liberal. They're the ones that vote more for the Democratic Party, which is Joe Biden's party. Now red states, on the other hand, are more conservative. They're more represented by the Republican Party, which is Donald Trump's party. Now in some states, it's really predictable whether a state will vote red or vote blue. But there's some states that are much more unpredictable. We call these swing states. Now this is because from election to election, they swing in one direction or in the other. Now in one election process, these states might find themselves more on the Democratic side, and in another one, they might vote more for the Republican candidate. Now as we mentioned earlier, many times elections are decided by how these swing states vote, and that is why they're also often called battleground states. So presidential candidates fight for votes there, and usually their campaigning in these states is much more aggressive. Now this comes from the word battleground, which of course is a place where an actual battle is fought. Now if you've been following the news, then there's probably some states that maybe you can't even place on the map, but that you've been hearing a lot about in these elections. For example, Nevada, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. These are all swing states, and they really were crucial in determining the results of this year's elections.
And work with all my heart, with the confidence of the whole people, to win the confidence of all of you. I'm proud of the campaign we built and ran. I'm proud of the coalition we put together, the broadest and most diverse coalition in history. Democrats, Republicans, independents, progressives, moderates, conservatives, young, old, urban, suburban, rural, gay, straight, transgender, white, Latino, Asian, Native American. I mean it, especially those moments. And especially for those moments when this campaign was at its lowest ebb, the African-American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours.
A coalition is the joining together of different political parties or groups for a particular purpose, usually for a limited time or a government that is formed in this way. In this part of the speech, Biden addresses the African-American community and says they stood up for him. To stand up for someone means to speak or act in support of someone or something. Then, if you have someone's back, you are prepared and willing to support or defend them. Now, Joe Biden mentions people from all sorts of different political backgrounds. For example, here he mentions people who are more progressive, moderate, or conservative. So people who are more progressive tend to be much more liberal in their political views. So for example, they would support a woman's right to choose whether or not she wants to get an abortion. Conservatives, on the other hand, want to keep things exactly how they already are. Now, we tend to say that liberal people or progressives tend to lean left and conservatives lean right. So we can think of this as a political spectrum. Now, the further left you go, the more liberal someone would be, and the further right you go, the more conservative someone would be. Now, people from the Democratic Party lean more to the left, and people from the Republican Party lean more to the right.
For all those of you who voted for President Trump, I understand the disappointment tonight. I've lost a couple times myself, but now, let's give each other a chance.
We say those of you to refer to a group of people. Let's see some examples of this collocation in use.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Officer Brian Jensen.
That is our next event, a hot dog eating contest. For those of you who are curious, the world record is 54 1/2 hot dogs.
Our work begins with getting COVID under control. We cannot repair the economy, restore our vitality, or relish life's most precious moments, hugging our grandchildren, our children, our birthdays, weddings, graduations, all the moments that matter most to us until we get it under control.
The base collocation that you heard here is to be under control. You can then use different verbs to add a layer of meaning. Have under control, keep under control, get under control. If you get something under control, you start to be able to limit something or make it do what you want it to do. Let's watch an example.
Leader, you need to get your stress under control.
Biden then says,
We cannot repair the economy, restore our vitality, or relish life's most precious moments.
This means to get great pleasure or satisfaction from something. Example, she relishes every moment she spends with her grandchildren. So the first US presidential debate between President Trump and presidential candidate Joe Biden is now in the books. And if we can only say one thing about it, it's that it was an absolute mess.
What was that? What was that?
Man, what the hell was that? Honestly, my brain is still recovering after watching last night's presidential debates.
Actually, debate is not the right word. It was more like a collective brain hemorrhage.
I feel like I'm still shivering.